Most people have no idea how powerful they truly are. They've been taught to look up for God, to pray to something out there, all while ignoring the divine force already pulsing within them. Sounds controversial? Good. Because here's the truth. You are God, just buried under years of programming, fear, and distraction. If your life feels stuck, confusing, or like something's always missing, it's not because you're broken. It's because you've been living as a fraction of who you really are. And that's exactly what this video will wake up in you. You've been chasing clarity, purpose, and truth with physical eyes. But none of those things live in the world you can see. They live in the world you've forgotten how to access. Your inner vision is dormant, not dead. And once it activates, you stop reacting to life and start creating it. This isn't some spiritual cliché or fantasy. It's ancient knowledge, hidden, suppressed, and now resurfacing. The moment you realize you're not the creation but the creator, everything shifts. So if you're ready to see beyond the illusion, let's begin. 1. The forgotten identity of the eternal soul. Since childhood, most people are told who they are. A name, a profession, a nationality. They grow up layering identities that were never theirs to begin with. But underneath all of that noise lives something untouched, a presence that has never changed, even as everything else did. That's your divine identity. It doesn't age, it doesn't react, and it doesn't disappear. You're not trying to find it, you're trying to remember it. The illusion of separation begins when we believe we're only the body, the mind, or the emotions. But those are just clothes your eternal soul wears for a season. The deeper truth is that you were never disconnected from the source. That sensation of emptiness you feel sometimes, it's not a lack of something outside. It's a call to return inward, to the part of you that knows who you really are. Not the story, but the stillness behind it. Look at your life. Everything you've chased, success, relationships, validation, was an attempt to remember what already lived inside you. But nobody told you that the one searching is the very thing being searched for. That's the twist. The inner vision doesn't come from effort. It's revealed when all the noise stops. You're not here to become something. You're here to realize what you've always been. Try this. Instead of chasing another goal this week, sit in silence and ask, who am I without my name, my past, or my plans? Don't rush to answer. Just listen. The more you listen, the clearer it becomes. That clarity isn't just personal, it's divine. And when you start living from that space, everything begins to look different, even before your eyes actually open. 2. Inner vision versus physical eyesight. Most people go through life relying solely on what their physical eyes show them. But the truth is, physical eyesight is limited. It only captures form, not essence. Inner vision, on the other hand, reveals what's behind the form. It's that quiet sense that something's off even when everything looks perfect. Or that deep knowing that you're meant for more even if you can't prove it yet. This is where your real power begins to wake up. Inner vision isn't about seeing angels or flashing lights. It's about recognizing the truth behind illusions. For example, a man might appear calm and successful on the outside, but someone with inner vision can feel the storm he's hiding. This kind of perception can't be taught in school. It's activated through presence, awareness, and the willingness to go beyond surface appearances. It's the way your eternal soul sees, not your eyes. If you want to develop this kind of sight, start by noticing how you react when you walk into a room. What do you feel first? Who draws your attention? Don't judge, just observe. Another practice is to close your eyes and visualize someone you know. Not their face, but their energy. What does your body tell you about them? These small exercises tune your awareness to the inner world, where clarity isn't just seen, it's sensed. The more you use inner vision, the more you see through the illusion of separation. You stop believing that people are their masks, or that reality is just what's on the screen. You begin to read between the lines. sense what's not being said, and feel what others are ignoring. And as this spiritual awakening deepens, something profound happens. You realize you were never blind, just distracted. 3. How the mind blocks divine perception. The mind is a brilliant tool, but it's also a loud roommate who never stops talking. It judges, compares, worries, plans, and overthinks everything. And while it's doing all that, your inner vision gets drowned out. Divine identity doesn't scream, it whispers. And if the mind is always busy trying to be right or stay safe, it'll miss the whisper every time. This is why silence isn't a luxury, it's a necessity for true vision. Have you ever tried to meditate but gave up because your thoughts wouldn't shut up? That's the point. You're not failing, you're just realizing how noisy your mind actually is. The problem isn't that you think, it's that you believe every thought that passes through. But once you learn to observe the mind without obeying it, the fog starts to lift. You don't need to fix every thought. You just need to stop identifying with them. Try this simple shift. The next time you hear a negative thought, like, "I'm not good enough," respond mentally with "interesting." Don't argue, don't explain, just say "interesting" and let it pass. It sounds too easy, but this small gap creates space. And in that space, divine perception enters. The more you do this, the less power your mental stories will have over your reality. When the mind quiets down, something wild happens. You don't just feel more peaceful, you see more clearly. Not with your eyes, but with your awareness. You start recognizing when you're being emotionally hijacked, when someone's lying with a smile, or when a decision feels off, even if it looks good on paper. That's not paranoia, it's inner vision coming back online, and it changes everything. 4. The role of presence in activating spiritual sight. There's a reason spiritual teachers across centuries keep pointing to the same thing: presence. It's not just a poetic concept, it's a tool. Presence is when you're here, fully, without dragging the past behind you or projecting yourself into some imagined future. And in that stillness, your inner vision sharpens. You stop living in your head and start seeing through your awareness, noticing the subtle, the sacred, and the stuff most people miss. Think about the last time you walked somewhere and didn't even remember the path. That autopilot mode. It's the opposite of presence. Now imagine walking the same path while fully awake, feeling the breeze, hearing the rustle of the leaves, sensing the energy of people passing by. That shift doesn't just make life more vivid, it opens the door to divine perception. It makes you sensitive to truth, even in its quietest forms. One practical way to return to presence is through micropauses. Just stop for 5 seconds during your day, before sending a message, entering a room, or starting your car, and ask yourself, "Am I here right now?" Another method is to do simple tasks consciously, like washing your hands or drinking water, paying attention to every sensation. These sound silly, but they rewire your attention and awaken your spiritual sight. The illusion of separation thrives when we're disconnected from the moment. That's when the mind spins stories, fears multiply, and clarity fades. But when you become present, you become powerful, not because you control anything, but because you see clearly. And once you start seeing clearly, the next layer of truth begins to reveal itself without effort. 5. The sacred science of inner alchemy. Inner alchemy is less about rituals and more about responsibility, the willingness to transform what's inside instead of trying to fix what's outside. The ancient mystics understood that reality isn't something we react to, it's something we project. And that projection is shaped by our emotions, our frequency, our intention. When those are unconscious, we create chaos. But when they're aligned, we become creators, not victims. This is where things get practical. Let's say someone cuts you off in traffic. The usual response? Anger. But an alchemist uses that moment. He observes the reaction, feels the heat rising, then shifts it. Maybe through breath, maybe by saying, "Thank you. That's mine to transmute." This isn't denial, It's mastery. You're not suppressing emotion, you're transforming it into something higher. That's inner alchemy in action. If you want to practice this, start small. When frustration hits, pause and name the emotion. Then ask, what's the opposite of this feeling? If it's fear, maybe it's trust. If it's jealousy, maybe it's gratitude. Close your eyes, breathe into your chest, and imagine that new frequency filling your body like light. It sounds simple, but these small moments train your system to operate from your divine identity instead of your reactive self. And here's the magic. The more you do this, the more your outer world shifts without you needing to control it. People treat you differently. Synchronicities increase. You walk into rooms and feel aligned. It's not random, it's resonance. Inner vision starts working full-time, guiding you, nudging you, showing you the moves, and all of that prepares the ground for an even deeper remembering of who you really are. 6. Signs you're remembering who you really are. Spiritual awakening isn't always fireworks and bliss. In fact, one of the first signs that you're remembering your true self is that life starts feeling a bit strange. Old goals lose their flavor. People you used to vibe with suddenly feel distant. And the weirdest part? You don't even feel like you anymore. That's not a breakdown. It's the dissolving of the illusion of separation. You're not becoming someone new. You're dropping who you're not. There's also a growing sense of emptiness, but not in a bad way. It's more like mental clutter being cleared out. Things that once triggered you just don't stick anymore. You start enjoying silence more than noise, stillness more than action. And when chaos happens, there's a strange calm inside, like you're watching a movie instead of being the character trapped in the plot. That's not disconnection. That's inner vision kicking in. You might also notice you're craving truth, even when it's uncomfortable. You no longer tolerate shallow conversations or fake smiles. You begin asking deeper questions. What's real? What's mine? What am I pretending not to see? That discomfort is sacred. It's the fire that burns away false identity and leaves behind your divine essence. And while the world around you might label it as weird or lost, deep down you know it's the beginning of something real. So if lately you felt like you're floating between worlds, unsure where you belong, take that as a sign. You're not lost. You're shedding the costume. You're letting go of who you were trained to be, so that your eternal soul can take the driver's seat. And once that happens, something even more powerful begins to rise from within. 7. You are the creator, not the creation. One of the greatest lies you were ever told is that life is something happening to you. But when you look through your inner vision, you start seeing the truth. Nothing is happening to you. It's all happening through you. Every event, every person, every challenge is a reflection of something inside. You're not a piece on the board. You're the one designing the game. That shift in awareness, that's where your divine identity begins to fully awaken. People often say, that's just how life is, as if reality is fixed and final. But that mindset is a trap. Reality is a mirror. It responds to your beliefs, your frequency, your level of presence. Want proof? Change how you show up in your relationships for 1 week. Speak with more love, set clear boundaries, and act from inner clarity. Watch how the people around you shift. That's not coincidence, that's creation. Being the creator doesn't mean controlling everything. It means owning your vibration, your choices, and your energy. It means noticing when you're creating from fear instead of trust. It means choosing how you respond even when things don't go your way. Start small. The way you speak to yourself, the way you enter a room, the way you imagine your future. These are creation points. Use them on purpose. And the more you live from this truth, the less you care about validation. You don't need the world to clap for you when you are the world. You stop playing the role and start embodying the source. That's when everything changes. How you feel, what you see, what shows up around you. And once you realize you're the creator, the idea of being anything less becomes impossible. If you want to elevate your vibrations and manifest with more ease, I have prepared something special for you. Click the link in the first pinned comment and join us in the journey of awakening your inner mage.